Bristol City Council, so we're a local authority in the southwest of England. We're one of the core cities, one of the 9 largest cities in the country. If we're going to provide the right services to the right people in the city who, and use the money that we've got, with limited money that we've got, which is obviously reducing due to the economic circumstances of the public sector, we will need to move as many people as possible who can use digital services onto those platforms. So it's very much the government digital services mantra of digital services so good that people prefer to use them. So if you're going to have digital services like that, we need the right kind of platform to build them on. And we need to be sure that we can handle the number of transactions that we'll need, that we have the right kind of features, responsive design, the right kind of integration systems, so that we're able to connect the end-to-end process. The whole customer journey can be digitized and back office systems can be connected up to the digital front end. We needed a new platform for that, and we looked around the market, and Liferay was the product that we basically chose to be the kind of the core of that digital platform. It's not the only building block in that platform. There are other things in there too that Liferay integrates with, but it's the kind of organising framework, and it gives us a lot of the features and the services that we need in order to plug everything else in. We didn't have any concerns about picking a well-supported, well-used piece of open source software. We knew that there was the right community around it, that there was the right kind of technical support from a company, and that there were many organisations using that product. So we kind of have a comfort, so level of comfort with open source and an understanding of what you need to look for when you're selecting. So in terms of the server infrastructure, the kind of standards we use, the web server infrastructure, in terms of the document records management system, we use Alfresco. So the open standards that Liferay supports and the ability to run on those platforms, obviously that was very straightforward. And then the fundamental architecture that we've been designing is about a kind of service-oriented approach, loosely coupled systems using open standards to interoperate, to send messages between themselves. So clearly, again, Liferay supports all of those kind of standards around XML messaging and web services and REST and so forth. So we knew that we'd be able to exchange information with other systems, and we knew we'd be able to support future standards-based integrations around new XML schema or whatever we needed to integrate. So yeah, it's integrated very well with the environment. One of the things that kind of delighted me on one of the early show and tell demos was how easy it was to achieve responsive design. We had been working on our previous website to improve the responsiveness and create a mobile version of it, and we successfully did that. However, when we got Liferay installed, straight away, when the developers simply showed us that by changing the screen size, it collapsed down the design into a responsive design that would work on a phone as well as a tablet, as well as a full-blown desktop web browser. That was quite a delightful moment. I remember smiling broadly and thinking that's taken no time at all to do that, as opposed to several months of redesigning our previous website. We can now support an end-to-end customer journey. It's the way that we can now track that a customer can have insight into what's happening and when, doesn't have to phone up, doesn't have to visit, and then that the staff who are dealing with that customer can also get that insight, so that we can exchange that information from the customer's account through into the staff's view of what's happening, and that you can get that across all channels. So maybe it's reported on a smartphone, maybe somebody checks on it from their home computer or their laptop, or maybe the messages about what's happening are popped up inside the CRM system for the customer advisors to see if anyone does phone about it. And it just integrates that flow of information and that flow of automation as well. So clearly it also allows us to then exchange information with our process management systems and our document management systems, which is a much more effective, much more seamless way of supporting the business process. And it makes it more efficient, takes a lot of the unnecessary kind of waste in terms of manual handling or checking or rekeying, takes all that out of the system. So we're seeing it as a significant improvement in both the customer's experience and the ability of staff to focus on the important task they've got, which is supporting the citizens of Bristol rather than moving paper around or box ticking. Well, I mean, what excites me is being able to deliver those services to people in Bristol. It is very exciting to be doing something which is this idea of relentless focus on user needs and this whole thing around delighting the users and being able to provide that kind of service and know that we're doing something that's genuinely innovative and is going to bring people to use those services and find it easier to transact with us and hopefully go away saying, do you know what, I had to fill in that form online in Bristol and it took seconds. It was so easy. They already knew who I was and where I lived because I told them that last time. It's not rocket science, it's stuff that other people are doing already, but that's very exciting that Liferay will help us do that in Bristol.